Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Runcam 3S. And now this is sort of their new version of the 3, since originally when they put out the Runcam 3 in this sort of same exact form factor, GoPro kind of sued them, sort of, not exactly sure what the story was, but they took it off of the US market at least. And now with GoPro announcing that they're not going to be producing this session anymore, so now Runcam is able to make this again, I assume. I honestly have no idea, but they came out with the 3S, which looks really similar to the 3. However, one of the biggest notes is if we compare it against the session, hopefully you can see they changed the dimensions, which I think is why they're allowed to do this. You can see it's now a lot wider, same pretty much depth, but it is pretty much just bigger overall, a little bit of a sized up GoPro. However, the height is pretty similar, it's just mainly the width on the Runcam is a decent bit bigger. So in terms of specs, this pretty much is identical to the Runcam 3 that they originally produced and the Runcam Split. It's pretty much all the same exact camera and sensors all together. I'm not exactly sure what they made different about this 3S version, but I never had a 3, so might as well try this 3S here. In the box, you just get a couple little things. You get a USB cable for charging, 2 little battery straps, and a little USB cable for external power and video out. I assume if you wanted to use this as your FPV camera, but you're going to get a lot of latency doing it that way, but it's a nice option. Also get a real brief quick start manual, but who uses that? And then just to get a real quick weight on it. Let's see, and it has the battery inside of it. You get 69.8 grams, and then a GoPro Session 5 is 72, so it is slightly lighter than the GoPro. So just a real quick intro on the camera. Let's put on a quad and see what kind of footage it gets. Alright, here we have some footage on the stock 1080p 60 setting with no adjustments made, and you're probably going to be able to notice that there is a lot of jello, especially go into full screen, and this quad did have some damaged motors and some vibration overall. However, the footage did not look this bad on the GoPro, and now it could have been the way that we were double mounting it, and unfortunately I don't have the GoPro footage to show you, but it almost seemed like the Runcam was a lot more susceptible to the jello overall. Looking at the light handling, it's not too bad. It's a pretty bright image overall. It was obviously very sunny out, but it just seems a little more blown out, especially in the sky, than the GoPro. The clouds are very well defined. However, the sharpness, especially when you're looking at the clouds, you can tell that the image is definitely hyper sharpened, which is something that's, you could either like it or not like it, but I think it's a bad feature to come stock this way. However, you can reduce that a little bit. In terms of the saturation, it's actually pretty good overall. The colors are pretty realistic. The temperature is a little bit cold, but it's not super saturated or super undersaturated. You can see I'm going up a little bit higher here. You can definitely see the jello in the mid-throttle range here. Very bad jello there. And now let me play some audio for you real quick, and you'll quickly hear, caution to headphone users, that it is very bad, just like all other Runcams. So yeah, the audio is definitely not something that you're probably going to want to be using in flight. Just the screeching definitely didn't change anything. I'm not sure how GoPro gets their audio to sound quite usable like it does, but whatever they do, it's like magic because literally nobody else can do it. So I'm just going to let the rest of this footage play out so you can see what you think.
I don't know what switch. Didn't realize how rural it was. Now the real question.
It looks like it's recording.
Oh, there's still a white light on. Oh, yes, it's recording.
Alright, so here are back to finish up my thoughts on the Runcam 3S. Overall, the footage wasn't terrible. It definitely, these cheaper cameras, it definitely has been getting better than the old days, or like my SJ Cam or the Mobius. It's definitely far better than those, but it's just the field of view and the sharpening and the color rendition, it really doesn't compare to the GoPro. The GoPro just looks so much more realistic and much more natural and nice to look at, and it used to be the GoPros were $300, $400, and these cameras were $100, so it's like you could make the trade-off. However, now since they stopped producing this session, And you can actually get refurbished ones on eBay for $120. I'm not sure if they have any more. They had about 5,000, I think. I bought 3 of the refurbished ones, and this is a refurbished GoPro. And can you see any deficiencies in this? Any dents that have come with it? It's because I've been using this for months. It literally was like a brand new GoPro for $120. And considering this camera is only $100, so it's $20 cheaper, I would much rather get the GoPro. So I don't really see too much point of this camera when other options are just a little bit more expensive but have much higher quality video. Another bad thing about the camera is obviously there is no screen, so if you want to change any of the settings you have to use the phone app, which isn't terrible, but having a little screen on the GoPro definitely is nice. The little door here is quite flimsy and it can fall off quite easily. Mine actually did, and somehow I found it. Just take it off here. There it goes. One of the nicest things about this actually is that it does have a replaceable battery. If I can get it out there, it has this little tab. The GoPro does not have a replaceable battery in terms of easily swappable like this. However, it almost seems like the Runcam constantly pulls power from this, because I charged it overnight and I went to use it the next day and it was dead. And I've heard other people, such as Kebab, with the same exact experience. So if you want to charge it up beforehand, you got to make sure you take out the battery, which is super annoying. The SD card slot is right down here, which is a little bit hard to reach, which is also annoying, and overall it just feels like they could have done a much better job. And it doesn't really seem like they improved over the Runcam 3 too much, so I'm not really going to be able to recommend this camera, but I know some people do like it, and it definitely does get the job done, and it gets some decent looking HD footage. But again, if you can get a refurbished session or even a brand new one for $200 or less, I would much rather spend twice to get this session than this. But I understand some people are on a budget, and this is all that they can afford. So that's going to be the end of the review. There will be links down below in the description to this camera if you are interested. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.